Hello and welcome back to another makeup tutorial. So I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not 100% sure, so we're just gonna go with the flow today. I'm gonna start off with the Dior Backstage primer. I don't know if I've used this before, or I haven't used it in quite some time anyway, if I have, so I'm just working this into my T-zone. And I'm taking some of the Dior Glow Drops. So I'm just applying this just on my cheekbones, just anywhere I want a little bit extra glow. I'm going in with my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This brush I'm using is a Sigma Curved Kabuki. It's actually really nice for applying foundation. It gives you that nice flawless buff down airbrush finish. So I used the shade Vienna and I just mixed a little bit of my the Hoola from Benefit. This is a liquid bronzer. Just mixed a little bit with it just to deepen the colour, because sometimes it can come off like a little bit too pale. Okay, I'm gonna bronze now using the Patrick Ta Beauty. This is the sculpting palette and I use the shade She's Sculpted. So this is like a duo. You have a powder and a cream. So I'm taking the cream shade. I'm just gonna map out where I'm going to contour. Let's go all out today, why not? Now I'm just going to blend that out. The brush I'm using is a Kat Von D Beauty brush number 10, which I usually prefer like a more fluffier brush for contour, but one, my brushes need to be washed. And two, I actually do like this brush. I used it a while ago when, once again, I had no clean brushes. I used this one and I really liked it, how it like blended the product on the skin. So now let's give us this chiseled jaw that I do not have. If you ever want to just define your jaw a little bit more, just do this, like draw a line of contour along the bottom part of your jaw, and then you really just want to blend it out nicely, pretty much the way you would do your cheekbone. You're just going to chisel out your jaw. And now I like to go in with my concealer. I'm taking the Dior Forever Skin Concealer. I use the shade 1N. So I like to use this to highlight, conceal, and then also just carve out the contour. And just kind of sharpen that up and neaten it anywhere I want to neaten it. I'm also gonna like add some concealer underneath my contour. This just helps sharpen the contour and tidy it up and just define it a little bit more. That's why sometimes I like to go with my like contour bronzer first, because that way then I can just kind of get the placement down and then use the concealer to just really tidy up and define it. This brush I'm using is a Huda Beauty concealer brush, which is such a good little size. Just like getting right into any little areas you want to get in. So you can see there the way that sharpens that up. Sometimes it's a little bit too much, so what I do then is I'll just go back into my contour brush and just lightly blend the two together, just to soften it. Okay, before I set with powder, I'm going to go in with my blush because I'm using a cream blush. This one's from Hourglass. These are their new cream blushes. So amazing, obsessed. You already know the deal with cream products. Over here, we love them. I like to just get some on my brush like this. The shade I'm using is called Devoted. Then I like to apply this on like the high points of my cheeks. I just kind of like to use a dabbing motion rather than a brushing motion, because I don't want to like move or disrupt the makeup that I have underneath. And then then sometimes I'll just go in with a concealer brush and just soften any edges, or if I went up too high. Now what we're gonna set, I'm gonna use a new powder today. I got these Dior ones recently. These are the Dior Backstage Perfecting Translucent Powder. This shade is 1N. Not sure if it'll be too light, but let's try it out. They seem like very lightweight. Still keeps the dewiness in my skin, which you know we love over here. I was expecting these to be much more matte, which I don't mind that they're not extremely matte on my skin, but I just thought it was going to be way more matte than it is, but I actually really like how it looks. It has that nice soft like satin finish, so it's not too matte on the skin. I don't like to use powders that are overly matte because I do keep my skin quite fresh and dewy. So if I set like my T-zone with a matte powder and then I have this like dewiness here, sometimes it can just look a little bit off, and I would rather just like have to powder throughout the day than be completely matte. It'll be interesting to see how these hold up throughout the day. I'm gonna add a little bit extra bronzer. I'm gonna take the Chanel bronzer, which has a hole in it. This is the shade Medium Deep. So I'm just going to get some on a big fluffy brush. I'm just going to use this to warm up my skin a little bit more. Oh, I love the smell of this bronzer. Smells so good. Okay, I just did my brows off camera. I was also gone for like an hour because I had a call. So I just want to show you that like the powder has still like set. I haven't gotten like any excess shine anywhere here yet. Okay, so let's jump into eyes. I'm taking the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Color. So it's just their cream stick shadows. This is in the shade Coca. I'm gonna just apply this into my crease and just wing it out. But before I do that, I'm just gonna put a little bit of eye primer on. This is the one from Rare Beauty, just to give us a little base. And then I'm going to go in with a little small shader brush and just blend that out. So I want to keep this like winged out shape, but I want to really like softly diffuse it and blend it in. And I'm going to get a bit more and just drag it up from here, just to kind of give us that little winged out shape. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're doing something. Now I'm taking the Huda Beauty Toffee Brown palette, which has these lovely shades in it here, and I'm going to go in with this shade. I'm just going to go over the shape that we created. And I'm going to take a little bit of the darkest shade in the palette and just deepen the outer point and just like deepen the crease a little bit more, just so we have a little bit more definition. So I'm just using a few different brushes. I have this little small definer brush, so I use that for really defining in the crease. And then I have a big fluffy brush then just to help diffuse any product, any lines. This is from Morphe as well. It's an M504. These bigger fluffy brushes are great, like to always have on hand, just to get it in and like blend any lines out or any harshness or anything like that. So it's always good to have like a fluffy fella around to save the day. I'm also going to take some of this shade and then go along the outer part of my eye. Now we're going back into this shade. I'm going to use this to line the top of my eye. Now I'm going in with my lashes. I have these little half lashes which I have worn to death. I don't remember what brand they are, but they're a pair of lashes that I just cut in half, and then I use these on the outer end. So see the way these just like pull it a little bit more to the outer corner, which works real well for this type of an eye look. So I want to add a little extra glow, so I'm taking the Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the shade 2.5. I'm just going to apply this with my little highlight brush, so I like to just get it on the brush. This brush is from Morphe. There's no number on this one, but I think it's an M510, if I am correct. I'm just going to add just a smidge here, so we're already pretty glowy on the skin. Just also taking some on a small little brush, and I'm going into the inner corners of my eyes. Now I'm going in with this lip pencil from Melt. It's called Nudist. And the lipstick I'm using is from Melt as well. It's called Nude. I used to live in this shade. Nude was one of the first products I ever bought from Melt, and I literally wore it to death. We have not done a matte nudie lip in a very long time. I feel like everything lately is glowy, 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 glowy skin, glowy lips, glowy eyes, glowy everything. But today we are matte eyes, matte lips, glowy skin. My favourite. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you recreate it, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video.